Oh, serious, man. 209, I mean, fuck you. And he fucking walks off the stage.
I'm joined now by Jorge Masvidal, the former UFC BMF champ and MMA legend, who will take on Nate Diaz in a 10-round light heavyweight boxing match on July 6th from the Honda Center in Anaheim, presented by Fanmio PPV. Your relationship with Nate has been somewhat contentious. You beat him pretty handily and became the inaugural BMF title holder in the UFC. And the lead up to this fight has been pretty chaotic, with the brawl erupting at the pressers and some back and forth words between the two of you. Why is there so much animosity between you guys?
We got to rewind back to New York. He takes a massive ass whooping. He is dropped 3 times on his ass. And, a medical professional sees it that it's not worth this guy to continue on. His life is at risk. Besides he has 2 cuts, he's been dropped 3 times and he's taking a lot of brain damage, So even if it wasn't for the cuts, they were probably going to stop this fight. This was what the ringside professionals told me after the fight. And so the fight gets called. And instead of this guy being like, all right, I had an off night, let's run the rematch, he starts with all types of excuses. And he goes as far as to calling me a coward and saying that I would have quit in the 4th and 5th round, which I've never, it's something that really truly bothers him. And that's what part of the brawl erupted. I've never tapped in my whole career of 50-something pro fights. I've never gone like this to another man. I've never said, hey, I've had enough. I'd rather give it all I have and can die than me actually quit to another man. That's how much pride I have inside of me. I've had ligaments pop, fucking joints torn right off the fucking socket, all types of shit, but I've never tapped. This fucking coward has tapped. So, for him to call me a coward and a quitter and that I was gonna quit in the 4th and 5th round, I was like, God, this dude he's just as stupid as he looks, So right there, some of the animosity started, but I didn't take it too much to heart then, and then he kept saying more comments and more, and then, I went and fought for the world title after that 2 times, and then shortly after that, he wasn't with the UFC no more. So we didn't get the rematch over there, but, I'm number 1 ranked in the world fighting for the title 2 different times. I got into the sport to win titles, not to fight Nate Diaz. So that I fought you once, cool. I'm going to fight you again, but not when you say it, When he started taking that, like if I was scared of him, which it was, it just wasn't a possibility to fight. By the time I got done with the title fights, he was gone. So I didn't like that. Then for the negotiations of this fight, he was just the biggest diva ever. The fight can't be in New York. The fight can't be in Miami. The fight can't be in Texas because he didn't like how the Texas Commission treated him when he fought Jake Paul. It has to read Diaz versus Masvidal, although he's the one that lost, and it's usually the other way, And it was all these things. He's like, and if it's not like that, I'm not fighting. I don't care. I just won't fight. I'm like, do you even want to fight, at this point? But since I just want to fight and I'm eager to get in there ready and just, man, I've been training for so long. This is fight. I signed off on everything, making it impossible for this fucking coward to do it. So now we'll fast forward to some of these events. I fly all the way from fucking Miami to Los Angeles, California to square up with this motherfucker, take a picture and drop that so we can sell the fight. This coward doesn't even do that. He doesn't even give me that. He fucking, oh, serious, man. 209, I mean, fuck you. And he fucking walks off the stage. That right there is like a big slap to me. Like, motherfucker, you got to do? No, I got to do. I just literally caught a plane for 6 hours to come here and square up with your ass, and you do this. Fast forward a little bit more, we're at the next press conference, and he's saying stupid shit and then walks off again, and then, has one of his guys shove me. 3 of his guys actually attacked my coach. Is damn near 45 years old. Not a professional fighter, he's a coach. That's what really escalated, having 2 of his guys attack my guy and one of them being a pro fighter. That's what really threw it over the top. And I don't got nothing nice to say about this coward anymore. He's just a coward, straight up.
I was at MSG for that BMF title fight, actually, and in my opinion, he beat him pretty handily. Like you said, the doctor stopped the fight. Boxing is obviously a little bit more different animal than MMA. Does your mindset change heading into the boxing ring as opposed to what your mindset was like making that walk to the octagon to fight Nate?
Fight's a fight, and I just got to keep the rules set in mind, right? Like, hey, no elbows, no knees, no kicks, which is what caused a lot of the damage, between the elbows and knees and kicks. That's what did a lot of damage in our fight. I can't do those things in now, but I still believe that I have the way better hands, way better cardio, more explosive, more powerful, and we just got to get in there and prove it now. Obviously he has his own thoughts and ideas, and I got mine, and I'm betting the house on me. I don't know what he's doing, but I give less,
In your UFC fights, at least, a lot of the times you were known as, you like to get off to a fast start. You hold the record in the UFC still for the fastest knockout in history. Are you approaching this fight differently? Will you be trying to figure out Nate's timing, or are you just gonna go in there and throw?
It is boxing, you know, so you got 10 rounds, you got some feel out rounds, you got some defense rounds, some studying rounds. But I feel like I know Nate pretty well, man. I don't gotta study him too much. I feel I just gotta get in there with him with my gloves laced up, my mouthpiece on, and let the leather fly. You know, obviously there's I respect every single fighter that gets in there in front of me, except Kobe's ass. But aside from that, I mean, yeah, there'll be some studying, some learning, and then we get right to it. Put my hard hat on and get to work.
You talked about, you've always bet on yourself. You put money down on yourself in your own fights. If I'm betting this fight, am I just betting on a knockout, win outright? How are you going to bet on yourself for this fight?
I definitely put money on a knockout.
What round?
It's a good question, you know. So when I get in there, a bigger part of me wants to torture this, you know, for a good amount of time, and then, you know, when it's time to take him out, take him out.
Maybe knock him out for like 6 rounds, and then the 7th, maybe knock him out.
Yeah, and then another part of me also likes to, you know, just knock people out, because if you know that, like, hey, his thing is knocking people out quick, it's not a fluke, right? Because, you know, I'm coming to take your head off. Stop it if you can, right? And I just take you out. It also shows the world, like, bro, as I proved the first time, we're nowhere near the same playing field. Like, that the cuts came about and they blamed it on the cuts was you getting lucky, because I was gonna do only further damage. So I also wouldn't mind, you know, I've been going back and forth, and that's the only thing that I'm like about. Like, do I punish this guy, or do I just knock him the f out and make him look like the fucking bum that he is compared to me? Like, we're not on the same playing field, so here you go.